7 mindsets holding you back. How many times have you wondered why your life seems stuck while the world around you keeps moving forward? Maybe you feel like you're doing your best, but the same frustrations return day after day, as if an invisible weight is dragging you down. Have you ever felt lost, directionless, at the mercy of circumstances and the opinions of others? Now imagine for a moment, what if the problem isn't the world out there? What if everything starts within you, in the way you think, react, and see every obstacle? The truth is, small flaws in our mindset, sometimes unnoticed, drag us into a cycle of stagnation and frustration. That's where Stoic philosophy comes in, a set of principles that, for thousands of years, has taught us how to face difficulties with courage, find balance, and, most importantly, regain control over our own lives. Are you tired of sabotaging yourself? Then maybe it's time to change the way you view failure, challenges, and even comparisons with others. In this video, we'll reveal 5 harmful mindsets silently sabotaging your path. More than that, you'll discover how Stoicism can help you eliminate these negative patterns and transform your life step by step into something you truly control. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to react. Have you noticed how it sometimes seems easier to point the finger than face the mirror? How often have you caught yourself thinking that traffic, a difficult boss, or a missed opportunity is to blame? It feels like the world is conspiring to hold you back, right? But what if I told you that the problem isn't out there, but in how you see things? Think about this. If everything that goes wrong in your life is someone else's fault, where do you find room to change? When we place responsibility on luck, the past, or another person, we're really giving up our own power. We're saying, I can't do anything about it. It's just the way it is. And that's exactly where the danger lies. Because when you outsource responsibility, you also outsource the solution. The truth is harsh but liberating. You can't control what happens outside of you. But you know what you can control: the way you react. That's Stoicism in practice, focusing on what's within your reach, on what you can change. Your boss may be difficult, but you can improve at your job. Traffic may be chaotic, but you can choose the music playing in your car. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, of course they exist, but it means deciding that you're no longer going to live as a victim of circumstances. Every time you place the blame on someone else, you cast yourself in the role of a spectator, and life is too short to live from the stands. So why not stop blaming and take the reins? If something didn't work out, how about stopping and asking yourself, what could I have done differently? Maybe the project's failure wasn't your fault, but what can you learn from it? What can you improve next time? Real change begins when we understand that even if we aren't responsible for everything, we are responsible for how we respond to everything. And here's the interesting part. When you adopt this mindset, the world seems to change. Those situations that once seemed impossible to resolve begin to transform. Because instead of waiting for luck or for someone else to change, you change. And that's when the game shifts. Now the question is, what are you going to do about it? No one said it would be easy, but no one said you couldn't do it either. The choice is in your hands. Blaming others may give you immediate relief, but taking responsibility is what truly sets you free. It's the first step toward getting out of inertia and taking control of your life. So, what's it going to be? Keep blaming the world or start writing your own story? Now that we understand the importance of taking control and stopping the blame game, a new question arises. What really keeps us from acting? Even when we recognize that we are responsible for our lives, an invisible barrier often paralyzes us. A barrier called fear. It's as if the mere possibility of failure is enough to make us give up before even trying. And that's exactly where courage comes in, because in the end, it's not just about taking responsibility, but also having the boldness to face the risk of failing. How many things have you left undone out of fear that they wouldn't work out? Fear of failure is a silent enemy. It hides behind excuses like, it's not the right time, or maybe I'm not ready yet. But the truth is, it's just masking a bigger concern. What if I try and fail? Failure has a terrible reputation, but should it? Because in reality, every time we fail, we get closer to succeeding. Each mistake is a lesson, a chance to adjust and try again. And this is the essence of Stoicism, seeing difficulties as opportunities for growth. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's acting in spite of it. Courage is accepting that you have no guarantees, that you might fail, but still taking the first step. It's remembering that nothing great was achieved without some stumbles along the way. Have you ever thought that the fear of failing is actually a compass? What you fear most likely holds the greatest potential to change your life. It's that project you've been postponing, the conversation you've been avoiding, the change that seems scary. And guess what? Every time you ignore this fear and choose action, you grow stronger. Failure is part of the process. When you understand this, fear loses its power to paralyze you. Moreover, every attempt, even the ones that don't work, are building blocks in your success. True failure isn't in falling, it's in never trying. So next time fear creeps in, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And above all, remember, you're not alone on this journey. We all face the fear of failure. The difference lies in how we respond to it. Will you let fear define who you are, or will you use courage to become who you want to be? Courage is the bridge between the life you have and the life you want. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a sign of progress. Because success doesn't exist without trying, and progress doesn't happen without courage. Now tell me, what's the next step you're going to take, even with fear? If you have the courage, share in the comments what that step will be. Courage is essential to face the fear of failure, but it needs an inseparable partner, patience. Because having the courage to take the first step is crucial, but it's patience that keeps you moving forward when results don't appear right away. It's easy to start something with enthusiasm, but over time, without visible progress, frustration kicks in. And then what? Do you give up or keep going? Now, let's talk about how the lack of patience and the desire for instant gratification can sabotage even the biggest achievements. Have you ever wondered why we're always in such a hurry to see results? We live in the age of now. We want everything yesterday, a diet that shows results in a week, a promotion at work after just a month of effort, and even instant happiness with a tap on the phone. But the problem is that nothing truly valuable happens overnight. And when we expect instant gratification, we risk abandoning projects that only need time to flourish. Stoicism teaches us to value the journey. Imagine a plant you've just planted. You don't expect it to bear fruit the next day, do you? You water it every day, patiently waiting for invisible growth, trusting the process. Why should it be any different with your goals? How many times have you quit something because the results took longer than you expected? This constant rush makes us forget that real progress happens in small daily doses. Success is like a giant puzzle, and every action you take is a piece. It can be frustrating not to see the full picture right away, but the key is to keep placing piece by piece without losing motivation. The truth is, patience is a superpower. It not only keeps you going when everything feels slow, but also teaches you to appreciate the path. When you learn to love the process, every step becomes a victory in itself, regardless of how long it takes to reach the final goal. What would happen if you stopped worrying about the destination and started falling in love with the journey? If you focus only on the end goal, every small obstacle will feel like a defeat. But if you see each challenge as part of the journey, every difficulty becomes a lesson. And when the results finally come, you'll realize that the true reward isn't just what you achieved, but who you became along the way. So, the next time impatience creeps in, remember, it's not about speed but consistency. Great dreams are built with small daily steps, and the best way to ensure success is to keep moving, even when it feels like nothing is changing. After all, would you rather quit today and start from scratch tomorrow, or keep going one step at a time? Patience isn't the absence of haste, but the presence of trust. Trust that every effort counts and that in due time you'll reap the rewards. Having patience with the process is essential, but there's another trap that can undermine your journey, the habit of comparing yourself to others. Even if you're making progress at your own pace, it's easy to lose focus when you look around and see someone seemingly farther ahead. Suddenly, all your progress feels insignificant, and just like that, the path that was once yours starts being guided by others' standards. How many times have you caught yourself looking at someone else's success and thinking, why not me? With the rise of social media, comparing ourselves to others has become almost inevitable. It's like watching an edited movie of someone else's life while living the uncut version of your own. You see achievements, trips, promotions, all packaged to look perfect, and without realizing it, you start feeling inadequate. But Stoicism teaches us a powerful truth. The only person you should compare yourself to is the one you were yesterday. Competing with others wastes valuable energy that could be used for your growth. Everyone has their own timeline and set of challenges. Comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20 makes no sense. What if instead of asking why others are ahead, you asked, am I better than yesterday? Focusing on your own path is freeing. It doesn't mean ignoring others' achievements, but learning to be inspired by them without letting them affect your self-esteem. Imagine we're all running our own marathons on separate tracks. What matters isn't who crosses the finish line first, but who doesn't quit. Excessive comparison also brings the danger of envy. When we spend too much time looking at what others have, we forget to value what we've already achieved. And what could have been a journey full of learning and personal progress turns into an exhausting race for external validation. Would you rather chase someone else's dreams or pursue your own? Turning your attention inward is an act of self-care. It's a reminder that true progress is quiet and that inner growth doesn't always look like a pretty social media post. In the end, the only comparison that makes sense is with the person you see in the mirror. So, the next time you catch yourself comparing your path to someone else's, take a deep breath and ask, am I giving my best today? Because that's what really matters. Every step you take at your own pace brings you closer to what truly matters, and that's the only progress worth celebrating. It's okay to be inspired by others, but never forget, your race is yours alone, and every step taken with purpose and focus on your path is already a victory. When we stop comparing ourselves to others, we take the first step toward personal freedom. But there's another challenge that can keep us trapped: the constant search for external approval. Even when we stop measuring our progress by others' standards, we might still find ourselves waiting for praise, likes, and applause to validate our achievements. And this is dangerous, because when your confidence depends on others' opinions, you'll never have control over it. Why is it that even when we know who we are, we still need someone to tell us we're good enough? We all like to be recognized. It's natural. A compliment at work, a congratulations on a personal achievement, these moments make us feel good. But the problem arises when this need becomes the measure of our self-esteem, when everything we do revolves around one question: what will others think? Stoicism reminds us that to find true peace, We must live guided by our own values, not others' expectations. After all, you can't control what others think of you, but you can always control how you choose to act. Are you living to impress others or to be true to yourself? Seeking external approval is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. No matter how much you get, it will never be enough. Because every time you base your happiness on others' opinions, you move away from what truly matters, being proud of knowing you're doing what's right for you. What would happen if, instead of seeking approval, you started approving of yourself? Internal validation is freeing. When you act with integrity and do what you believe is right, you don't need anyone's approval to feel good. True confidence comes from your commitment to yourself. And paradoxically, it's when you stop seeking external approval that it starts to come naturally. So, the next time you find yourself waiting for others' opinions, ask, "Am I satisfied with what I did?" The most important answer is always your own. Others' opinions are fleeting, but living according to your values brings lasting peace. In the end, the only approval you truly need is your own. When you free yourself from the need for external approval, something magical happens. You gain the freedom to make authentic choices. But then, a new dilemma arises. What do you do when these choices involve discomfort? It's easy to pursue challenges when we feel secure, but what about when the path becomes difficult and uncertain? The instinct to run away surfaces, and it's tempting to retreat to the comfort zone. Have you noticed how the most important things in life are rarely easy? From learning a new skill to dealing with difficult situations, everything that makes us grow involves some degree of discomfort. But instead of embracing it, most people prefer to hide. Avoiding challenges seems safer in the short term, but it's like living in an invisible cage. The more we avoid discomfort, the smaller our world becomes. Stoic philosophy invites us to change this mindset. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's a teacher. Every time you face a difficult situation, you grow stronger. Adversity is like a weight in the gym. The more you lift, the stronger you become. What if, instead of avoiding discomfort, you started seeing it as a sign of progress? Challenges are inevitable, but what you gain by facing them is priceless. Every obstacle overcome is proof that you're more capable than you imagined. It's not just about reaching a goal, but building resilience to face whatever comes next. Because in the end, there's no growth without effort, and it's through overcoming discomfort that we find our true strength. Would you rather stay comfortable and stagnant or leave your safe zone and discover what you're really capable of? Stoicism teaches that discomfort is part of the journey. It's not about seeking suffering, but accepting that difficulties are disguised opportunities. Avoiding challenges may seem like the easier option, but facing them is what turns you into the best version of yourself. So, the next time discomfort knocks on your door, don't run away. Embrace it. See it as a chance to grow. Because every time you resist the temptation to retreat to your comfort zone, you take a step forward towards self-confidence and wisdom. After all, what awaits on the other side of the challenge is always greater than the fear you feel before facing it. Facing challenges with courage and accepting discomfort as part of the journey is essential for growth. But there's one final ingredient that keeps our minds on the right track: gratitude. Because what's the point of achieving, overcoming, and advancing if your mind is always focused on what's missing? Without gratitude, it's like climbing an endless ladder, always missing the next step, always chasing something more. Have you ever found yourself so focused on what's missing that you forgot to appreciate what you already have? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, when I get that, I'll be happy. But happiness tied to future achievements is an illusion. As soon as we reach one goal, another appears on the horizon. And so we find ourselves caught in an endless cycle of wanting more without ever appreciating what we already have. Stoic philosophy teaches us that gratitude is the key to breaking this cycle. It's not about ignoring our ambitions, but balancing them with an awareness of what we already have. After all, what you have today is something you once deeply desired. How many times have you stopped to appreciate what you've already achieved? When we learn to practice gratitude, our perspective shifts. Instead of focusing on what's missing, we start to value what's already present. Gratitude makes us more resilient, because even in tough times it helps us see that, despite the challenges, there are still things to be grateful for, and you don't have to wait for big moments to feel grateful. It's in the little things, the warm coffee in the morning, the smile of a loved one, the opportunity to learn something new. These small things are gifts that, when recognized, bring an immediate sense of fulfillment. Have you noticed how gratitude transforms even difficult moments? The practice of gratitude doesn't eliminate life's challenges, but changes how we face them. It helps us realize that even in difficulties, there are reasons to be thankful. And when we cultivate this outlook, we become less vulnerable to discouragement and more prepared to handle whatever life throws our way. Why not take a moment today to reflect on everything you already have? Because in the end, the secret isn't having everything you want, but learning to value what you already have. When you do that, inner peace stops being a distant ideal and becomes part of your daily life. And ironically, it's when we're at peace with the present that the future begins to flow. As we reflect on all these topics, from personal responsibility to courage, from patience to gratitude, we realize that living well isn't about having a perfect life, but about facing each day as an opportunity for growth. Stoicism reminds us that we can't control everything around us, but we can choose how we respond and how we navigate our journey. True transformation begins when we stop blaming circumstances, confront our fears, free ourselves from comparisons, and stop seeking external validation. When we accept discomfort as part of the process and learn to be grateful for what we already have, we become stronger and better prepared for whatever comes our way. And the question now is, how will you apply all this to your life? Remember, it doesn't matter where you are right now. What truly matters is the next step you choose to take. Every small action counts, and the most important thing is that you're committed to your own progress, always a little better than yesterday. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these topics resonated the most with your journey? Have you faced any of these challenges? Share your response in the comments. Your story could inspire others. And if this content brought value to you, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. See you in the next video.